Yo, what is up, YouTube? Today we're going to be talking about the Pisces Cup, the Pisces Champions meeting. This guide is a little late, but you know, we all had to have some time to familiarize ourselves with Trackblazer. Hopefully the guides that we released earlier were able to help you. If this is helpful to you, make sure you like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you guys have as questions or maybe some insight that could help someone out. Would appreciate it. Use code MAMA for 10 minutes off your gamer subs. Let's get right into it. So, Pisces Cup, the Pisces Champions meeting. We have about 9 days since me talking about it, trying to keep this short and sweet. This is a long distance Champions meeting. It's on Hanshin. It's supposed to be Tennosho Spring, but in real life, around the time this Champions meeting actually occurred, the Kyoto racetrack, which usually houses the Tennosho Spring, was closed down due to the renovations. They wanted to improve the track. So at this point in time, they actually did the race in Hanshin, which reflects completely over here. So we're racing in Hanshin. It is a heavy sort of, the turf is heavy, right? And it is raining, right? It's also springtime. It's a right-handed lane, so if you, or rather right-handed track, so if you take a look over there, and so these green skills are going to be activated for it. You have right-handed, spring runner, standard distance, Hanshin race course, wet conditions, and rainy days. If you're trying to get like 3 green skills, what you're typically going to want to use is or consider is like Nishino Flower. Nishino Flower has standard distance and Hanshin race course. You also have Manhattan Cafe, who offers rainy days and wet conditions. Those could be pretty good for front runners who want to really activate your groundwork. Taking the lead or early lead is another one of those skills that, as long as you pass the wit check, you should be able to get your 3 skills activation for groundwork, that early acceleration. Very good. This is the track. So it's a very interesting track. It has 2 different layouts. So you're starting at the red flag here. And what you're going to do is you're going to go first through the outer section, and then you're going to go the second lap through the inner. It's a long distance course, okay? And so let's take a look at the individual laps and see what we could figure out. This is, again, Tennosho Spring, 3,200 meter Hanshin. If you're racing and trying to do this in sort of room matches, you do have to manually make a trainer cup to set it to be Hanshin. Groundwork, taking the lead. These are standard frontrunner excels that activate at the very early phase of the game. Groundwork needs 3 green skills. Taking the lead is just early game acceleration. As always, like having 2 of these movement skills is going to be pretty good. It offers acceleration and a little bit of velocity boost, as well as just help you avoid pace down mode. So that's just the first lap. These are the only really relevant skills. The second lap, the inner track, we have this, and we have a very long late race section. Look how long that is. And so a long late race section means the random point acceleration skills are going to be kind of not very consistent and lower in value. Okay. What it also means here for this track is that no stopping me is pretty nice, and because it starts on a straight, no stopping me is going to be very key, very valuable, that any Umamusume can run. Unfortunately for Trackblazer, no stopping me is pretty hard to get. Pretty much the only source of no stopping me is going to be a Yukino Bijin SSR wit card, which we highly advise that you borrow and no one advised for you to pull for. So it's nice. You only need 1 limit break for this card for it to be at a very good effectiveness. So, you know, you might have that. You might be able to activate it with like any anniversary selectors. Very good card for this particular track and for this scenario. The key acceleration skills, though, besides no stopping me, is going to be Victory Cheer, Break It Down, and Straightaway Spurt. So Break It Down is a unique skill for and from Ballroom Seiun Sky. But Ballroom Seiun Sky is not going to be available until like maybe the second half or finals day for the CM. I'm not exactly sure. We're not exactly sure when the banner is coming out, I believe. But it should be available later in the CM. This acceleration skill is not going to be very available, especially in rounds 1 and 2. Straightaway Spurt, though, because it's a straightaway, right? And we have a late race section, is going to be the most consistent acceleration skill and only exclusive to end closers, making them the strongest, most consistent strategy out of all like the other strategies. Victory Cheer is the unique skill for Kita-san Black, and we are going to highly advise that if you're building a front runner, Here we go. Let me see. Victory cheer. If you're building a front runner for you guys to inherit this, it's not that much acceleration, but it's still very consistent acceleration. And like to wait for here in order to activate angling and scheming is just way too late to actually get any like sort of effectiveness on it, right? It's very low value. This is the highest value sort of acceleration skill you can get as a front runner, because it activates so early on, pretty much as you enter the late race section. White lightning coming through is going to be a pretty key highlight here for anything, any other Umamusume, like more in the late surge than end closers, right? You could also be a pace chaser as well. But on the straight, right, if you're in these positions, it's an either or skill. You could be 6th or 7th place. You could be 3rd or 2nd place. You're going to see chat blow up. Target speed acceleration is going to increase, okay? And for time across, it's going to carry over. It's going to be amazing. For anyone who's inheriting this skill, you do want to, you can't really control it, but ideally you're delaying this by around 2.7 seconds, not 2.7, but 2.7 seconds in order for it to carry over and get like a really good value, have your initial velocity boost as well as acceleration into it. But yes, the corner acceleration skills that are usually the bread and butter of most tracks, angling, scheming, let's pump some iron, moving past and beyond, these are not going to be very high value, and typically you're going to be like halfway into top speed before these skills activate, and so they're just not going to give you that much acceleration. Redshift, unrestrained, shooting for victory. So, you know, Maruzensky, Silent Suzuka, Taiki Shuttle, they're just, there's no like activation at this point. It's just nothing. You're already at top speed. Way too late for here. Okay. So just to recap, straightaway spurt, end closer is going to be very strong. Victory cheer if you want to build your front runner. Anyone else, you're going to be really reliant on no stopping me. Okay, moving on. We have hidden bonus stats. We do not have hidden bonus stats. Pisces Cup does not have any stat thresholds, but it is a long distance track, so you need to have stamina. So this is the chart here. If you have 1 gold and 1 white recovery, typically speaking, you have to kind of like max out your stamina, unless your name is Christmas Ogre, okay? So I advise definitely to try and go for 2 gold recoveries. That way the stamina requirement is a lot less sort of strict. I highly advise this because for making a new track for Track Blazer, it's kind of hard to get like both cap speed and cap stamina without like breaking your deck, so to speak, or like putting way too much stamina cards. I definitely think having 2 gold recoveries is really nice. You know, Swinging Maestro is already 1, and then for Pace Chaser, you have like Gourmand or Race Planner. For late surger, hopefully you have a unique skill heal like Machigana Tenhoiza does. End closer is going to be a little tougher though, but like for late surgers and end closers, as with most races, they only need 1150 as opposed to like a capped stamina, okay? And it is still going to be really nice to have this stamina because some people are going to run debuffers. Some people might, okay? When you're running your sort of careers, Track Blazer is going to give you the most stats. It's the best scenario right now. It's always going to be like the latest scenario. It's pretty much always going to be the best one. And so it's very highly advised you have at least Turf B, Mild B, and Medium B in order to do the career and get a lot of skill points. If you are not with these sort of aptitudes, then you're typically not going to have as much skill points as the other Umas who are more suited, or rather have these aptitudes already, okay? You can always fix them with sparks, of course. The stat importance, make sure you're reaching your stamina. If you can't finish the race, it's like there's no hope. Then you get the speed. Wit is going to be a little more important because if you take a look at the vertical slice of the track, there's huge downhill sections, very, very huge downhill sections. So wit is going to be very good if you could maximize that after speed and stamina. Power goes next, and then guts is at the very bottom. Okay, very standard. Skill sheet. So, and also a summary of like the strategies that are good. So first let's talk about the strategies that are good, strategies that are bad. End closers are going to be like my preferred strategy here, and that's because they have access to the straightaway spurt, right? They also have the easiest activation for no stopping me, which is perfect for this track. On top of that, they have lower stamina requirements. Front runners are going to be your second most strongest because you have the Kitasan Black unique, and you also have Kitasan Black, who herself is just super suited for this track. If we take a look, Kitasan Black has pretty much the picture perfect unique skill for this track. Basically on the back stretch, which is where the stretch happens for the acceleration, you're going to get a huge acceleration boost, right? If you're in the top 2 and you're in the late race. So you get speed, you get excel, and the activation of it being the back stretch of the straight is activated by virtue of the track. So like Kitasan Black is amazing. You have pace chasers who do have head on as their acceleration skill, but it's kind of random, and you're typically gonna want to run a lot of pace chasers or front runners in order to activate Nimble Navigator. Highly recommend No Stopping Me if you can get it. Late surgers do not really have any good like acceleration skills that are consistent. On your left is random. Again, No Stopping Me is gonna help save the day. And then finally you have runaways, who basically don't have anything. First of all, runaways, you cannot make a runaway Sound Suzuka in Track Blazer. You just can't. They don't have that secret event because Track Blazer gets rid of all the secret events for every Umamusume. You have to raise them in Unity. And pretty much the only utility runaways have is just to act as like a sort of chariot or like a bowling ball, right? Or a blocker. Like once they reach the late race, they just fall behind. And hopefully like your front runners will activate No Stopping Me off it, and it somehow like takes some other like opponents away from you. That's the ideal situation for running a runaway Silence Suzuka. Okay, let's take a look at some of the skills that you want to learn. Not going to talk about runaway too much. I don't think it's going to be very popular, but again, Victory Cheer, Break It Down, which is Satan Sky Ballroom unique skill. Once it comes out, you want taking the lead, you want groundwork, right? And all these core skills are going to be available on this spreadsheet, on this whiteboard. You can take a look at the notes section, okay? Just look out for the Pisces Cup. Swinging Maestro is going to be very strong. Very, very standard skills here. For Pace Chaser, nothing really too crazy. You might want to consider White Lightning because it does activate for Pace Chasers. Barcarolle of Blessings is the unique skill for New Year Team Opera O. Triumphant Pulse also helps you get some endgame acceleration, and Pace Chasers do have a lot of access to a lot of heals. You have Suya Maestro, you have Race Planner, you have Gourmand, and so like having that 2 golden heals is going to be very convenient for a lot of players. Notably, Agnes Tachyon has already 2 gold heals. Well, she has Race Planner and her unique skill, right? So she already has 2 gold heal values in her kit. Christmas Augury, this is all for like the different positions. They have it marked over here, okay? And we're not going to really cover it. Basically, you want 3 heals and you want these unique skills. Late Surgers on your left, No Stopping Me is pretty much your saving grace. I'd say No Stopping Me is way more important than on your left. You can have Slick Surge, but No Stopping Me is way, way, way important. White Lightning coming through is also very, very nice. End Closer, White Lightning coming through. This is, I don't know if I mentioned it, but White Lightning coming through is Tamamo Cross's unique skill. And yes, it is good to inherit. Besides that, you have Straightaway Spurt, No Stopping Me. Straightaway Spurt is a key, it's must have, okay? And No Stopping Me is good, very, very good as well, and highly advise you get it. Otherwise, you can maybe settle for Nimble Navigator, that's fine. But No Stopping Me is very much worth it if you can get it, okay? Example decks over here show the example sort of, the attributes you should have for your deck. For front runners, we're not going to talk about runaways. For front runners, Mihono Bourbon's like best in slot for your 2 wit cards that you typically will run. Smart Falcon can help you get groundwork, right? Super Creek is going to be super high value for any deck pretty much, as you can see, because she offers not just really good stamina, not just good race bonus, but she offers a really good gold heal, one of the best cards in the game. So definitely, you might have to borrow a Super Creek and fill the rest of your deck with cards that are for race bonus, okay? Christmas Augury is over there. We have Late Surger, Ace deck, very standard as far as like the deck sort of skeletons, okay? Basically, the advice is let's get Super Creek and SSR's Rico, if you have maximum break, has 10% race bonus and makes Track Blazer runs pretty nice and smooth. Here are some options if you're looking to, fill out cards for these skeletons. Obviously, you're not going to be looking at power and guts too much, but sometimes you might have to run them in order to reach your race bonus, right? And if that's the case, I would highly advise subbing out your wit cards for any of these options, right? That would be totally fine. If you can cap out speed with 2 speed cards, then I would advise taking a speed card out for these as well. For the borrow slots, you're going to want to run Nadita Top Road if you want an overall huge increase in your overall stats, okay? Because she has that 20% training effectiveness when you have 200,000 fans. Machigana Fukukitaru, who has a really good quality of life boost, and also is just a very good card for Track Blazer. So if you need like that early game to, you know, be nice and smooth, then Machigana Fukukitaru is your borrow slot. Super Creek, though, is probably going to be the majority of what people are borrowing, because if they don't have it anyway, because of that Swinging Maestro, because of having so much of, you know, that gold heal. So very, very good. Besides that, though, here are some recommended decks for each of the sort of front lines for their strategy. You have Frontrunner Kitasan Black, Pace Chaser, New Year Opera O, Late Surger, obviously Mambo, Machigana Tenhoiza, and you have Gold Ship as an end closer, as well as Christmas Ogre. Here are some recommended decks for them. Notice that these cards over here, it's like either Kitasan, Nadita Top Road, or Machigana Fukukitaru. These are recommended decks. Sometimes, you know, with end closer, Yuki no Bijin, you know, you do have straightaway spurt, so it's not like a must-have as much as a late searcher, in my opinion. So you can consider not using it. As well as Sweep Tosho, like, for her values, I'm not too sure if it's that strong. So if you're having trouble capping speed, maybe consider running someone else. Obviously, you know, if you don't have her at all, then, you know, SR speed cards are totally just fine. And for Guts build, this deck, like Christmas Ogre can do Guts builds. This is personally tested by RBX himself. So yeah, if you guys wanted to know, by the way, this is RBX's Pisces Ogre cap. This was made with a Guts deck. I mean, you can tell just by how many Guts she has. So because like it's Guts decks don't add anything to stamina, and Ogre Cap Christmas with all the heals doesn't really need that much stamina, it's actually pretty nice Guts deck as an option for Ogre Cap to run. But the Guts build decks can work with anyone, not just Christmas Ogre. Let's go ahead and talk about the tier list for the Umas. And so the 1 or 2 stars are what you're going to typically see the most, because again, they're available to pretty much everyone. Gold Ship is going to be your standard. She has After School Stroll, she has Straightaway Spurt, very, very good skills. End Closer, Mayono Top Gun is going to have access to that Straightaway Spurt, and I believe No Stopping Me, if I'm not mistaken, which is amazing. That's super good. You want to inherit the Straightaway Spurt, obviously, right? And also, if you're an End Closer, you can consider running a power card, which has 10% race bonus, by the way, in Hishi Amazon. Very, very nice option. But besides that, in the A bracket, Machigana Tenhoiza as an end closer or late surger. Personally, I think having her as an end closer is going to be tough, because you need to raise that mile rating to B, which is already a D, and the end closer is E, and that at least needs to be a B. So I think end closer is going to be pretty tough for Machigana Tenhoiza. But late surger is something you can do. Honestly, I would say, like, realistically speaking, Mambo, Machigana Tenhoiza, she could be A or B tier. I don't really think she's that much better than any of the Umas down here, okay? This icon over here, this nice nature, is meant to be as like a debuffer nice nature, okay? Moving on, 3-star Uma tier list. Who are the standouts? It's going to be Narita Taishin, because she has Encroaching Shadow, the upgraded version of Straightaway Spurt. So of course she's going to be at the top of the list. She's going to be very, very strong. Tamamo Cross is going to have White Lightning coming through, which you already know is going to have that velocity carryover and acceleration on top of it, along with very easy conditions for an end closer. So White Lightning coming through is going to be amazing. Tamamo Cross is going to be amazing. Kitasan Black is also just going to have that amazing, amazing unique skill, Victory Cheer, which activates at the back stretch and gives you speed and acceleration and pretty much like no condition. You just need to be in the late race, right? Very, very good. Ballroom Saiyan Sky is also really good. We can take a look at her really quickly. She's going to be like available at the second half or the final round of the CM. but for frontrunner teams, expect to see her. You have speed and acceleration, and this is going to happen on the late race when it's not a corner, so on the straight, okay? And you have the first top two, and you're on the back stretch, okay? So speed and acceleration, what more can you really ask for? She's like one of the best Umamusume for this track, unfortunately appearing a little later. For A rating, right, you have Ogre Cap, Simply Rudolph. They have really good endgame velocity skills, as well as they can be built for end closer. Manhattan Cafe is going to be a little tough because she has very low mile rating, and that doesn't necessarily make her bad for this track, but it makes her very difficult to raise for Track Blazer. Christmas Ogre obviously is very good. You have New Year Opera O, Mejiro Bright, who has a very weird, unique skill, okay? Mejiro Bright is very interesting in that she has a unique skill that scales with how much stamina she has at this point. And this scaling will affect the duration. And this duration with Tenosho Spring can be as long as like 30 seconds. I'm pretty sure the last time I checked, it's around 25-30 seconds. It could be as long. And that's just insane. This velocity boost isn't too much, but like the fact that it can carry over and be that long is kind of crazy. So definitely worth trying if you're a fan of Metro Bright. End closer, you could get that straightaway spurt as well. So yeah, give it a shot. It sounds really interesting. For B rating, I wouldn't even put San Suzuki here, but if you want to run her for your bowling ball strats, your chariot strats, I mean, she's there. Pretty much everyone else, you know, that can run in this track will be in this sort of category, okay? At the end of the day, though, I do think these are stronger. Like, anyone who's on the B tier against someone very well built on the above tiers, they're not just going to win very consistently against them, personally. But, yeah, I mean, I think that should... Oh, wait, no, we're going to talk about the unique tier list. Okay, so the Inherits. Okay, the Inherits. Tamamo Cross for end, for late, for pace, gonna be very good. White Lightning coming through. Might get that velocity carryover, get the acceleration. You have Kitasan Black as the front runner, like godsend acceleration skill, and Ballroom Saiyan Sky. However, it's gonna like not be effective. It's gonna be hard to get a good parent for Ballroom Saiyan Sky so late into the CM. You have here as well a lot of different skills. You have Fuji Kiseki. You have, you know, Nagita Brian with the Shadow Break, right? As well as Ballroom Fuji Kiseki, which I wasn't aware of here. Let's take a look at that, actually. Ballroom Fuji Kiseki, who is going to be available at the same time as Ballroom Saiyan Sky. And this one here, we have it for late pace or front runner. Take a look at her unique skill. This is a greatly unique skill on the final corner, and this is when you overtake someone and you're within the top 4. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So it's kind of like a Shadow Break with easier conditions, right? Pretty good skill to be inheriting. So there you go. These are the recommended inherits. Definitely like look at Tamamo Cross, try and see if you could get borrows for this. And if you're a front runner, look for Kitasan Black. They're going to have really good inherits for you. As far as strategies, my recommendation, probably the one, well, I can't run this because I'm running Machigana Tenhoiza, but triple end closer is very good. Double front runner, solo end closer. I don't necessarily think 3 front runners is going to be that good. There's not even that many like amazing front runners, right? So like double front runner, get a good end closer would be nice, right? And anything over here is totally fine. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Leave a like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.